Everything in the universe is in motion. So I like to think of migration as the essence of life.
When we think of immigration and migration, I think the first thing we think of is people moving. But one of the things this cluster really wants to get students to think about is that a lot of other things move. So ideas move, objects move, seeds move, genes move, planets move. The whole universe is made up of moving pieces. And so migration can be seen as connecting with any one of those things.
When we think about immigration and migration, the moving of people from one place to another, they bring together money. They bring together their best practice, their old business in their home country to a new country. So yeah, when we talk about immigration and migration, I think international business is an essential part of such flow.
I'm a cancer researcher and a molecular biologist. So when I think about the term migration, I'm immediately drawn to human migration. And in the cancer research field, we know that when human populations migrate from one country to another, there are associated changes in the frequencies of different diseases.
My discipline is theater, and the Stanislavski method of acting is still used today, and it's the idea of emotional memory. You remember an emotion and you bring that, an actor brings that to the stage. Students will find in this immigration-migration cluster that these ideas come from all parts of the world, and we use them every day. So while the Stanislavski method and the ideas of Robert Edmund Jones both coming to the United States in the early 1900s, those revolutionized American set design and American acting. Without those individuals coming to the United States, and now without our expertise as Americans taking what we learn from other cultures to other parts of the world, they also can't grow.
The United States has a very monolingual ideology that strongly favors English and really disfavors the maintenance of second languages. So in the courses that I'm teaching for this Paideia cluster, we'll be looking at migration, specifically immigration, and its impact on language. So for example, in my course on Spanish in the United States, we're looking at the different populations that had immigrated to the United States. Why? What are the reasons they've immigrated? But most importantly, from the perspective of linguistics, what is the impact on both their home languages, and then also what happens when they arrive to the United States? What happens to their language, and also what happens in terms of the English language?
So when we think about migration today, we often think about immigration and we think about people crossing borders. And we live in a world today where borders seem very natural to us. But borders are actually really unnatural. Borders are something we created through very long historical processes. And if we look back, people have always moved. People moved as a species first out of Africa. They moved to find better places to hunt or find better places to settle once we had agrarian societies. Later on, they would move to factories, or they would move to places that had cultural or intellectual centers. So moving is much more of a natural thing in human history, and staying put is much more of an unnatural thing in human history.
I think a student who is very curious, inherently curious, would do well in this cluster. I think a student who is interested in movement on multiple levels. I think the perfect student would come from any of our disciplines, but it would be someone who's interested in change, the non-status quo.
I want students to come out embracing change and recognizing that change is just inevitable in human existence, right? And to just be able to recognize, why transformation is happening.